And this morning's other top story is a mixed bag when it comes to the latest jobs numbers. December's unemployment rate dropped from 9.8% to 9.4%, but only 103,000 new jobs were added last month. That was fewer than expected, and CBS News senior business correspondent Anthony Mason reports.
For the 12th straight month, American businesses added jobs, just not enough of them.
It was a bit of a disappointment. We are creating jobs, and the job market's moving in the right direction. It's just not moving in the right direction fast enough.
Overall, the economy created 1.1 million jobs last year, but that's less than 100,000 a month. And analysts say we need to more than double that to put a real dent in the unemployment rate. Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke told Congress that while the economy is strengthening,
at this rate of improvement, it could take 4 to 5 more years for the job market to normalize fully.
The unemployment rate did drop in December, but only because people left the workforce. And when you stop looking for a job, the government stops counting you as unemployed. Many economists do expect job growth will start to pick up soon.
It's really no longer a question of can they hire more, it's really a question of are they willing. And I think we'll see more willingness as the year progresses.
But most analysts thought December's numbers would be stronger. The economic recovery may have taken hold, but we're still waiting for the jobs recovery. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
And here with some insight on the latest job numbers is Tig Gilliam, CEO of Adecco Group North America, the world's largest staffing firm and one of the 5 biggest employers in the United States. Great to have you with us, Tig.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
And as one of the 5 largest employees here in the United States, what are you seeing? Do you think this report is on point as far as the jobs picture goes?
I think the report basically says that we can now look back at 2010 and say 2010 was the beginning of the jobs recovery. We added 1.3 million private sector jobs in 2010, and that's good, but it's not going to be enough to really bring down the unemployment rate unless we can get that growth rate to 200,000 or 300,000 jobs a month.
If you take a look at the industries that were hiring in the most recent report, you had leisure and hospitality, you had education and health services, temporary health services, and manufacturing. When you look at those industries of who's hiring, what does that tell you about who will be hiring in the future and also just about where we stand in the recovery?
Well, healthcare proved again that it's been a strong growth sector throughout the recession, and it continues to be. What's missing so far is that manufacturing and construction are not really contributing to the numbers of jobs that we need to see in the growth picture. Temporary services has been terrific. We've added 490,000 temporary jobs so far since September of '09, and that's half of the jobs we lost since the beginning of '07. So that still continues to be a driver of the growth in the job market overall.
It has been a driver, but when people look at those temporary jobs, they say they're temporary. I want full-time employment. You say they should take a second look.
Well, first, what that tells us is that companies need talent, and they've chosen to engage that talent on a temporary and contract basis, and that's added 500,000 jobs. And also, the role of the temporary worker has changed very dramatically. This is now, in the case of Adecco Group North America, half of our jobs are professional jobs. There are lawyers and doctors and nurses and engineers and accountants. So it is a highly qualified and professional segment of the working population as well.
What kind of timeline would people be dealing with if they took temporary employment, they were seeking full-time? Is there a turnaround where a temporary job likely turns into full-time employment?
Well, in terms of a recovery overall, traditionally what happens is temporary employment leads in the jobs recovery, and then 6 to 18 months later, employers begin to bring on permanent workers again. And that's what we're beginning to see right now. And in fact, many of the permanent workers that they're bringing on are coming from those temporaries who've been working with them over the last 6 to 12 months. So for an individual looking for work, having a temporary assignment is right now the best path to a permanent assignment.
So your recommendation to people looking for work right now, I would bet, would be to seek something that is temporary and then work so that it turns out to be full-time.
Absolutely, and use the temporary assignment as a way to build your skills, to introduce yourself to a new industry, to augment your qualifications for your future job prospects.
So use it essentially as a job interview to get to know an employer better over time.
It's a great way to think about it. It's a working interview, and you're going to get to know the company, and you're going to have a real feel for how you can bring value to the company, and the company's going to see you as an individual and the way you can contribute.
Tig Gilliam, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate it this
Thanks
morning
for
on the
having
Jobs
me.
Report.